it's my honor to have you here today, Sergeant Josh Lay, almost Staff Sergeant in just a few days.
Real soon, yeah, on Monday.
Real soon, whoo! And many in our community will know that's a big deal. And our community, as you've already seen, loves America and loves our military and is very appreciative for what you're going to talk about today, because you're giving up voluntarily, nobody made you do this, to raise toys and funds for Toys for Tots for our city. And Josh, I think you would know this, that over 60% of the children in our community are above the poverty. They qualify for free and reduced lunch. So when families are just trying their hardest to get clothes on a child, get, if possible, braces on their teeth, shoes, buying a toy, it almost to them is out of reach. And yet here you are already starting to try to mobilize our city. And our cities, as you've already discovered, because you started last year with this project, didn't you?
That's correct, yes.
And you saw this is a generous city. And so I want the reason I have you here today is that you also did so well in doing your job getting toys for Tots that some went over into one of our Head Start schools. And that is such a gift. All of those children are so deserving. So now that I've set the foundation, I heard that you grew up in a military family.
That's correct.
And have lived a lot of places.
Been all over the place.
And then you volunteered to go in the Marines. And why on earth would you do that?
Well, when I was in high school, I remember watching the TV and watching the war in Iraq, 2003, 2004, and I was getting ready to graduate in 2005, and I said, I got to do something. I want to be a part of this. I want to help out. I'm going to go over there, and I want to make a difference. And I'll tell you what, after 7 years in the Marine Corps, you realize that just like any job where you serve, you make a difference. Sometimes small, sometimes big, and I feel like the opportunity for me to come to San Angelo is a big difference, because the Marines, we're known for fighting tough. And so when I meet with some of the business owners and some of the big guns in the city, and I tell them, look, we're not going down easy. We need some support, and we're going to fight for it. It doesn't come. It comes at a price.
And they say yes, don't they?
They have to. They have to. How
Just
can
like
they
I
refuse
did.
us? That's exactly it. Well, and that's what we want people to know too, and which is why we're glad we're on your show, Dr. Bonds, because we really wanted to take a message of hope to the kids, and that's with the Toys for Tots program, but we also want to break the cycle of poverty. And we know that's not going to come through a 30 or several, in our case, several expensive toys for the children. Now, we want to offer that way to break that cycle of poverty. What's that come through? Well, literacy is one of them.
Yes.
And that's why last year we partnered with you guys in order to say, hey, the city is so generous, they love the military, and we had a little extra last year. Well, let's push that in and give kids books. So each of the children that applied for Toys for Tots, Salvation Army Angel Tree, we're partnered together with them, and they're awesome, by the way. Got to throw that out
they
there.
are.
Salvation Army here is wonderful, and we partner with them every year, and we work on distributing the toys and whatever other stuff the families need. And we threw a lot of books in this year. For each kid that applied for the program, each family that applied, and then also for your guys' Head Start program up at Blackshear.
Well, there's no greater gift than a child being able to feel confident about their reading. So I'm extremely grateful for what you did. Now, I asked you prior to this program, do you have a goal? And your answer was very interesting. You're not so much comparing yourself to what you all raised last year. Talk about that.
Every year kind of fluctuates back and forth a little bit with, the amount of people that apply, the amount of nonprofits that request assistance. Like I said before, that we try to help out on average about 8 nonprofits in the city. Help with their Christmas programs along with our own.
8. Wow.
That's correct. About 8 nonprofits around town, anywhere from House of Faith, which they're obviously a wonderful program The
Yes.
Children's Advocacy Center unfortunately has about 390 children last year, which is a huge number, but we were able to give toys for their Christmas for the kids over there in that program. And I mean, just all across the city, whoever applies, and we fight hard to do whatever we can to help out. And our mission, it doesn't really change. Every year the amount of people that apply, okay, that the numbers vary. We're not worried about numbers. We come in this with the goal of saying we're going to make a difference, whatever it looks like. And so sometimes it says, all right, this year we're going to focus on literacy. Now, can we focus on literacy every year? No, we can't. But last year we were able to, and we were excited to make a difference that way in the city, knowing that we gave almost 12,000 books away to the San Angelo Independent School
goodness.
District, and also through the Toys for Tots Salvation Army program.
So do you have a preference whether a person gives money or gives an actual toy?
Toys for Tots prefers new unwrapped toy for our program, and that's what we shoot for, is that we want to know exactly what we're getting,
Right.
and we want to know that it's safe and that it's going to be something we give to the right kid, age group, the gender. So that's one of the things that we focus on, is making sure that we get that new unwrapped toy. We want to give these kids something that gives them the message of hope, not something that's already broken or used, that sort of thing. And that comes through that new shiny unwrapped toy. So that's what we focus on. Now, we know through convenience and this city not having a toy store, a lot of people like to donate cash. And we take whatever funds we get. We have a 97% of our money goes towards operations, which is buying toys.
Wow.
So 97%, and that's a national Toys for Tots program, does that with over 700 locations across the country, in all 50 states, Virgin Islands, and everywhere. I mean, the Toys for Tots, they maintain a 97% rate at keeping incidentals at 3%, which is phenomenal. And we're able to maintain that too.
I don't know that can be said for very many organizations.
Oh, it can't. We're actually the only one that maintains that high number. And one of the reasons, I believe, is the Marine Corps is behind it. Now, I'm a little partial towards the other branches,
As you
obviously.
should be.
It should be a little pride of the Marine Corps, but that's one of the things, is that we fight. We know that you make do with what you get, and you press on and worry about the mission. It's always mission accomplishment first. And that's what we're about. And our mission is, how many kids can we help out? What can we do to make a difference? And we have about 250 Marines on base, mostly students. And those students come, and every year we have a new set of students that are here, and we say, very casually too, we ask, would you guys like to help us out this year? Well, I explain to them and I say, look, this is what you can do. There's not, as far as the Marine Corps, we stay busy. We deploy and we go all over the country for training. While you're here in San Angelo, you can make a difference.
And this is not, Toys for Tots is not your job. You are an instructor at Goodfellow, and were asked to take this leadership role. You assisted in the role last year, is that correct?
Yeah, I was the assistant last year, and then this year they moved me up. I already had a feel for kind of how the city works. It's a different city. San Angelo is unique. I spent about 5 years in California, and things are done a little bit differently out there.
Well,
in San Angelo, they
aren't you
love the
glad
military.
to be
Woo!
here?
I am so excited. I love Texas. I love going to the rodeo. I love meeting people. I love when we go to a restaurant and my wife's in front of me and some guy holds the door open. I said, wow, this is uncanny. It's uncommon. You don't find this around the country everywhere. People here are generous. They love the military. They love people in general. And they take care of, they take care of us very well. So we appreciate that.
Well, we're glad not only that all the branches are here in our city. I think that is a rich thing for our city to be exposed to all of our servicemen and women, and you've already made it clear, and I think it's great that you feel that the Marines are a cut above, and that's great, Josh. It's like going to a school and being proud of your school, and you, for whatever, it sounds like from your family you were raised to give back to your community from what you've already told me. And now you are adding on to your instructor day to go and make a plea to our city to not leave Toys for Tots off their to-do list.
Well, actually, and the Toys for Tots program has gotten so big in San Angelo that they actually pull us off the podium, me and my assistant, they pull us off the podium to work Toys for Tots full-time for 3 months. And we end up putting a lot of hours in extra on top of that. We put about several hundred hours in on top of our normal workday into the program to make sure it's successful because of the low manning that we have.
So that implies quite a commitment and belief and passion from the Marine Corps as a whole in this program.
The instructors, everything from the commanding officer down to the lowest ranking person at the Marine Corps Detachment Goodfellow Air Force Base, we believe in the program. We believe in supporting the community and making that difference. So we're willing to take those extra steps. So those long Friday nights when we're out collecting toys and my family's at home and I got 2 beautiful daughters, an amazing wife, and they're waiting at home for me and it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock and we're still out. But it gives us that little sense of purpose, or extra purpose, knowing that we are making a difference. And it starts with the youngest members of our society. I was raised with a strong value system and belief and a sense of morals. And a lot of people don't have that. So it's our duty to go out and tell the kids at the schools or wherever we go out in town and say, look, we're going to make a difference and we're going to fight for it. So,
well, you're a blessing, and most of the homes who are recipients will not have met almost Staff Sergeant Josh Lay, but I hope that this program will give them a face and know that maybe you're modeling for all of us to give back and what it does and means for you and your family. Do you have a particular, and I'm hitting you cold with this question, but is there a story or something last year while you were learning the ropes of being in charge that you felt, oh my goodness, this is why we do this? Do you have anything like that happened?
you know, it's interesting because we had several stories that made the newspaper and actually made the Associated Press and made it nationally, and we're like, wow, this is pretty cool coming out of San Angelo for people all over the country to be able to read a story. We had a Marine who was a student here in the fire school, and his mother had gotten Toys for Tots when he was a kid. His dad was a drug abuser, went to prison. The kids had no idea what he was doing or where he went. He just disappeared. Single mom, 3 kids, living in the trailer park in Georgia. And she went out, got assistance, never told anyone in the family. And then this young man comes to volunteer for one of our 24-hour toy drives we do at HEB, and his mom called him the day before and just in tears saying, I never told you, but I got Toys for Tots for you as a kid, so it means so much more that you're volunteering for the program now.
Wow.
And the story is just one of those heart-wrenchers, knowing that it made a difference. This kid was a story of success. She got Toys for Tots to help them out for Christmas, and now this young man is not in the prison systems. He's not, he's excelling in his life. He's prospering. And in the same extent of that's exactly what we're supposed to, and I believe that's what God's intent for us is to prosper us, to move us forward, upward and forward.
And we need to give back. And that's what you're doing, Josh, is giving back and giving families in a tough economy a break. And toys are not cheap.
Well, and that's where we really need, we try very hard, and that's where we need the help of the community. We need people to give. Toys for Tots, it would not function without you, without the person viewing this right now. When you stop by and drop $1 in our donation jars, or you bring a toy by HEB, the 24-hour toy drive, or even one of the boxes that we have all across the city, it makes a tremendous difference because every dollar and every toy will directly impact the life of a child in a significant way that very few other organizations can say or boast that they have that direct impact. And so we're excited to be a part of that.
Where do you take, this is a trivia perhaps,
of course,
but where do you take your loads of stuff to sort it? Where do y'all go?
Well, every year we get a warehouse.
Good.
And obviously the generous people of the city donate space.
Good.
Warehouse owners, property managers, whoever gets on board with us in the Salvation Army and donates space for us to sort the toys.
Do you already have it for this year? I was going to let our audience know if that was still a need for this year. Have you already located a space?
We have located space,
Okay.
and so we're actually in the process of working out the contract and the insurance and all that stuff for a space right now. So that's the first thing. So we got the warehouse, now it's empty. That's the second thing.
So now that's up to me and your audience, Josh.
Exactly. That's you and the viewers in San Angelo to get on board with us, give us toys, throw money at my Marines when they're out there collecting. We love it. We love to make the toy runs. we go to HEB, we go to Walmart, and we line up shopping carts and we run down and just fill them with toys. And we like the money that, and this is one thing I have to emphasize.
Okay.
And so for the viewer, you guys can pay extra careful attention.
Okay.
Is that the donations that are given to San Angelo stay in San Angelo. And we do our darn best to make sure that those donations, they stay here, they go here, the toys go here, and we spend the money here.
Wow.
So the books that we purchased, the 12,000 books, guess where they came from? They came from Hastings. It's a Texas-owned corporation, and we bought those books from Hastings. They gave us a phenomenal discount. We loved it. We were able to buy more with what we had, but we like to keep the money here. And so we also do Toys for Tots throughout the Concho Valley. And so cities like Mertzen and Eden and Menard and, Sterling City. And hopefully I'm not forgetting a couple, but obviously outside Tom Green County, these are ones that are all, we have 6 counties surrounding. El Dorado, even. I think that's most of them.
That's a lot of children, Josh.
It's a lot of children. It's a lot of logistics for the Marines. But when people in Mertzen give, then those toys stay in Mertzen. And that money stays in Mertzen. And so we're keeping it county by county. And so we want San Angelo people to know is that it's your neighbor that you're affecting.
Okay. Are there some toys you all would just as soon people not give?
That's a great question. Well, first off, let's talk about the toys that we want people to give.
Okay. So you can do it your way, Josh.
Change things up on you. Well, this is the bigger question, is that a lot of people don't know the age category that we service. And Salvation Army's Angel Tree program goes from 0 all the way up to 15.
Ooh.
So what do you buy for a 15-year-old girl who needs a little help for Christmas, whose parents don't have something to give her enough? Maybe they just got fired. A lot of people have a lot of judgmental thoughts against some of the people that apply for these programs. And I saw it firsthand last year. It was amazing. I saw mothers come to me in tears saying, "Thank you. No one believed me, this and that. My husband just lost his job and we're behind on the bills. This makes an amazing difference in our lives, in my kids' lives. They're gonna have toys for Christmas." So I get all emotional. I'm already crying there. I'm like, we're crying. It's just, I'm excited because that sort of thing. What do we give to that 15-year-old girl, though, that needs something for Christmas?
Are you asking me? Because I have an opinion.
Well, okay, what do you got? Yeah. You were once there, so what did you...
I have granddaughters. That was a long time ago,
Oh, okay.
Josh.
Okay. Things have changed a lot now.
I have granddaughters, and then see kids at our schools, and the kind of things they ask for are girls like jewelry and et cetera, headbands and
all kinds of accessories.
All kind of accessories.
The scarves, those are really popular now.
Yep. Good for you. You're into fashion.
My wife is.
Okay,
I'm not taking any credit for that one. She's very good at that.
And then boys for me are a little harder because I have granddaughters. What would you suggest for young men?
Guns are always a good thing.
You think, Josh?
Not real guns.
Okay.
Water guns and Nerf guns.
Okay.
Water guns and Nerf guns. Not the airsoft, anything like that. We want to stay away from anything that's trying to be realistic and stuff like that. Nerf guns are awesome. Kids always like. If there's a Nerf gun laying around my house, I would play with it anyways, and I'm 26. Remote control helicopters are great. Remote control cars, those are and you can usually find those under $30, about $20 or so for those. If you go to the mall or go to Walmart, HEB, you can find those kind of things there. So the boys, those are pretty common things. A Nerf gun and a helicopter, they'll be happy for a while.
Okay.
So that's great. MP3 players now, you can get a lot of those very cheap. You can get MP3 players, even digital cameras. We started purchasing those because you can get. The max we're allowed to spend for Toys for Tots is $30 per toy.
Okay.
So that kind of limits us, but we can find $30 digital cameras if we bulk order them.
Yes.
But we can get those, and sometimes you can find those where it's a quality digital camera because the times have changed a lot.
Absolutely.
And so we can get that, and that's a lot what the girls and the boys like now is more of that electronic stuff.
So then, what other age? Is there an age span in there that you need a whole lot of presents for?
More of the 11 to 13, because we get stuff for the 15-year-olds, more the hair dryers and stuff like that. The tween ages are kind of hard.
Okay.
So you get the tween years where they're 11, they're 12. Do they wear makeup? Don't they wear makeup? That gets kind of confusing and hard. Everybody, you go into HEB, you go into Walmart, you go somewhere in town, and you get a Barbie, or you think of Toys for Tots, you're thinking of a 5-year-old.
A tot.
A tot. You're not thinking of a 15-year-old, but that's the issue, is that the demand is high. There's a lot of kids who need help, and even the 15-year-olds still need people to come alongside. And I would ask people in the community, give a toy and then get involved in a program where you can mentor a kid too. Because the toy is not a lasting impact. Give them a message of hope. And that's exactly where I encourage people to deliver a message of hope. What is the message of hope to you? My belief system may be different than other people's, but in my belief, I know I have a message of hope. I know where I'm going when I die. I have the assurance of my salvation. I know where I'm going. And so I can deliver that, and obviously not in an official capacity with Toys for Tots, but when people ask me and say, well, what do you believe? Well, let me tell you what I believe, and that's a lasting hope. And so that's where programs and mentoring really will invest in a child's life. You're not just throwing money or a toy at them, but you're able to get involved. So that's what we ask people to take a step and say, donate, and then get involved in a program. House of Faith after-school programs, always in need of support, and they make a huge difference on the community.
A huge difference. I'm a huge fan of House of Faith.
Me too.
Well, Josh, you've taught me some things. I honestly did not know Toys for Tots help to address the needs of early teenage years. And so I will change what I buy this year, quite honestly. So I want to thank you. You'll be in our city approximately total about 3 years as an instructor.
That's correct.
And you will have blessed us and left us better because you were here. Best wishes.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you.